It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by AgileDad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started. Keeping things in the same vein as the previous episodes that have been broadcast this week, I had a student ask me, they said, for a long time we had Scrum Masters and Agile coaches, and we're starting to see companies do massive layoffs and massive Agile overhauls of what they're trying to do inside of their organization. And that includes letting some of these key roles go. So their question was, is the party over for Scrum Masters and coaches? Are there still needs for people to even take a certified Scrum Master class? And are they getting value out of it? And are companies still hiring for these roles? And I found that very interesting because, believe it or not, this is one of those things that I was shocked when I discovered this, but there's two different sets of organizations. I should take that back. There's three different sets of organizations. So let me talk to you about where these three different sets of organizations are. So one set of organizations were early adopters of Agile and Scrum specifically, and they hired on Scrum Masters and I said, okay, do it. And these Scrum Masters gained years of experience and great practical knowledge and moved on to other companies, and they brought in new Scrum Masters and gave them training and just went through this cycle so that over time they were left with a herd of mediocre Scrum Masters, no one with advanced skills, trying to help a company navigate getting through some of the barriers or getting past some of the benchmarks that they've set to try to make Agile better without the assistance of really experienced Agile or Scrum practitioners. That's interesting. So that's scenario number one. Scenario number two, there are some companies that decided not to adopt Agile and Scrum at all in the beginning. They said, we're heavily regulated, or we have too many things going on, or we have other issues, or whatever the case may be. They had excuses for why they should not implement Agile or why they should not take advantage of it. They didn't want to be the early adopters. They didn't want to be the first ones to try this out. Once it's tried and proven, then we'll jump in and do it. And those organizations are now at a point where they're like, okay, we're set. We're ready to take on the Agile. And it's interesting because they're in a position where if they don't learn how to behave and move with greater agility, they are going to be left behind and their competitors are going to win the marketplace. Now, it's not because, I want to be clear, it's not because they didn't hire anyone certified right away or whatever the case may be, but it's because they are late to the party when it comes to adopting Agile. And then there are those companies, these are the rare breed, that adopted Agile, not necessarily first, but somewhere a little bit later. They were the ones who hired some of these seasoned practitioners, paid them a little more money, and have seen growth and success inside of their organizations. Now, the problem is these people were overutilized, I'll just say, and they were given additional responsibilities, additional accountabilities, and these overutilized specialists, as we'll call them, helped the organization be incredibly successful for a time. And now, as they move into advanced positions in leadership or management, or they retire or they're done, these people have been doing this for close to 20 years. What they're seeing is that body of knowledge has not been passed on to other people, and that the people that they're hiring as Scrum Masters now aren't near, or product owners even, aren't near as proficient as the ones that they had before were. So it presents this conundrum. And what we're hearing is a lot of organizations saying, well, I guess that's it. Agile's not working anymore, or Scrum's not working anymore. There's got to be a new thing. There's Agile 2.0 or Scrum 3.4. I mean, whatever, right? Let's switch to safe. It's just people are trying to reinvent or reconstruct things that have been happening over the years. But if you're an active Agile participant and coach, like I have been for 20 plus years, you see these cycles, you see these circles. So I want to answer this question, but I want to answer the question by posing another question. So my question is, what can we do as thought leaders in the Agile industry to educate people that Agile still works? Agile still works just as good as ever. It's just, are your people getting the adequate training that they need? And if they are they internally helping establish Agile centers of excellence to pass that information on to others so that your company can continue to breed success? One of the things that frustrates me the most is when you have individuals who are trying hard to do their best job, but they're not trying hard to inspire, uplift others to do what they do best. So the question then, and that begs the question, and the question becomes, okay, so what can we do as practitioners to really push this envelope further forward? What can we do as practitioners to help people who are either in companies struggling, and not to mention, we're seeing a shift where people are ready to move on to other companies for higher pay. With a global workforce and with more opportunities and with more companies desperately seeking these strong practitioners, we're starting to see that shift. But there's one more interesting, little cog I want to throw on a wheel here. I recently had the opportunity, I saw a job that was posted, and this job was for a very large company. And they were, I'm not going to say what industry, but they were looking for someone that they called an Agile manager. That was the title. And this job description, let me tell you, if there was ever a perfect job description for an Agile coach, this was it. It was just perfect. They were looking for the right levels of experience. They were looking for the proper certifications. They were looking for certain things. So in an effort to help friends, I reposted this position, and two of my friends applied for the position. Now, one of the friends that applied, she reported back to me, and she says, a recruiter threw my hat in a ring, so she went in through a recruiter, and they were heavily interested in the first round and wanted to have a second round of conversation with her beyond the original, application / submission from the recruiter. And when they did this, they came to a determination that this wasn't the person they were looking for. Now, what I can tell you about this individual is she's fantastic, and I don't know what didn't shine through, but I feel like she would have been a great candidate for that position. Now, let's fast forward to the other person who contacted me about this. This is interesting. This person had every single box checked on what they had or what they were asking for, and then more. This person would have been, when we're talking about that elite candidate that could really help that company take things to the next level, this was that candidate. This was that person. And he was impressive. He presented himself well. He had a great resume. I'm sure he did fantastic in the interview. And he was promptly told, quote, that his qualifications were in excess of what they were looking for. Let's stop for a minute, right? When on earth did it become okay to filter out someone as a candidate that you pay a little more because their qualifications were more than what you needed? I mean, I get it when people say, I don't want to pay extra for something we might not use. But in this case, this is paying extra for someone that could really help transform the organization. This is paying extra for a veteran with seasoned tenure who understands the ins and outs. But yet the company was shying away from it. And part of the reason why is because they automatically assumed that because this person had been in the industry for some time, that they would come in with old school or staunch feelings about the way to do things, and they wouldn't be innovative. And with this particular candidate, I can tell you that couldn't be further from the truth. But not giving someone an opportunity to prove themselves in this position with that type of experience is a travesty. So to answer the original question, because I want to cut back to that, is the party over for Scrum Masters and Agile coaches? I would go as far as to say the party is over for how about this? The party's over for the title Scrum Master, in my opinion. I think that too many people don't or did not understand what a Scrum Master was or what a Scrum Master did. I don't know that it was an accurate depiction. The words didn't match what the person did. And because of that, organizations struggled and continue to struggle. Does it mean it's completely over? No, there's still a ton of entry-level Scrum Master positions or lightweight mid-level Scrum Master positions out there. But for the most senior practitioners, it's become trouble. And that's where we lean in on Agile coaches. Is the party over for Agile coaches? And my answer there is it depends. If Agile coaches are learning how to leverage new and innovative tools like AI, artificial intelligence, if you're a GPT-4 prompt master, if you can write really good prompts, then no, you're going to have a place wherever you go. You're fine. But it's reinventing these sets of accountabilities and giving these offices different titles. And I think that's the part that people are getting hung up on. So I think the key here is the party over? No, but it's a different location. The party's over at this location, but we're all going to switch over and go to this other location. And the question is, you're invited. Do you want to come? And I think that that's the part that people are missing. You have to make adjustments to the way that you present yourself. You have to make adjustments to the way that Agile's being done. And you have to present yourself in a way that you're not overly compelling or underly compelling to qualify for these mid-tier jobs that can't be done by AI, which that in itself is hard. But I think what's more fascinating is that the excitement around reinventing these positions is probably more important than whether the party's on or not. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at AgileDad.com. We'd love to hear from you. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.